We always do that, but you know what? Chapter 55.
Alright, it's time to go see Captain Marvel.
We were seeing Endgame, man.
Endgame? No,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Alright, here we go. And happy International Women's Day, y'all. And
2 hours later.
Well, I can say that I'm excited for Endgame.
yeah.
Okay, oh boy. Hey guys!
Yeah.
So, we just watched the next MCU movie, Captain Marvel.
The 21st movie? 20th?
21st. Just came out on International Women's Day. So that's a thing. Well, technically it came out yesterday, but you know, Fridays are, you know, it's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, opening night, y'all.
We watched it. We decided to review this movie together. We haven't reviewed a movie together since, what was last month? Like,
I don't know.
I forgot.
But we have a lot to say about this one.
we did the top 10 best movies of 2018.
Yeah.
That was the last thing we did. We're reviewing the movie again together because we both saw it. It's Friday. We're gonna get into this movie. I don't know when this review is gonna be uploaded. We saw it today on Friday, but I might upload it tomorrow because it might be really long and whatnot. So before we get started with this review, I want to say all this controversy, whatever is happening, you know what it is. I don't care. He doesn't care. It's
not really.
kind of bullshit. So
Well, it's, you know, it doesn't affect anybody's, well, it didn't affect my viewing.
it has nothing to do with anything about our views on the movie. We saw it, and we're just gonna give you our honest review, our honest opinion on the movie. It's just for you guys to know whether you should go watch it. Well, I mean, you should watch it because if you're gonna watch Avengers Endgame, but
You don't have context.
so basically, in this movie, Captain Marvel is an extraterrestrial Kree warrior who finds herself caught in the middle of an intergalactic battle between her people and the Skrulls. Living on Earth in 1995, she keeps having recurring memories of another life as U.S. Air Force pilot Carol Danvers. With help from Nick Fury, Captain Marvel tries to uncover the secrets of her past while harnessing her special superpowers to end the war with the evil Skrulls. So, I wasn't too excited for this movie, just like a lot of people, and it has nothing to do with the controversy. It's because the trailers made the movie seem very uninteresting.
Yeah.
The only thing I had to look forward to was how it would kind of tie in with Avengers Endgame and, you know, future Marvel stuff. So I went into it just kind of thinking about that, and hopefully, you know, it makes me really want to see more about Captain Marvel. The tomato meter was pretty good, although I was noticing that a lot of people were not really liking it as well, and then I checked some of the individual reviews for the movie on Rotten Tomatoes, and then it made more sense. I mean, some people were just kind of giving this movie a bare pass and stuff like that as sort of just an enjoyable time, which made the tomato meter really high. It seems to be going down now.
Yeah, it was at 90, and then now it's at like 83 or something like that.
And to me and him, it was
Yeah,
it was okay. I mean, we'll start off with the positives first. Samuel Jackson to me was the best part. He's Nick Fury in this movie. There's no doubt about that. Of course, Samuel Jackson being Nick Fury is a lot of Samuel L. Jackson. He plays himself a lot, but then again, it's like you really see the Nick Fury in this movie. Like they're like basically the jokes he makes and the things he says. It's very Nick Fury-like, even though he is not as hardened.
No, he's more of a goofball in this movie.
Yeah, it makes sense how he used to be like that and how he kind of changes, even though some stuff I'll get into later in the review. There were some shots I liked. Some of the visuals were pretty good, even though sometimes it did get a little repetitive and bland, like the color scheme was kind of all over the place in parts. There were a few enjoyable moments with Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, just kind of their banter and stuff. And that was pretty funny sometimes.
I'd say they had chemistry, but there's some really awkward scenes. But I'll
yeah, and there were some jokes I did like, and a couple emotional moments that were good as well. And a twist I did like, as well as the mid-credit scene, which, no spoilers, does make me more excited for Endgame. I mean, that mid-credit scene was...
it's probably gonna be in Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, that mid-credit scene, what was so crazy about it was it made me feel like I was watching Endgame, and so that got me really hyped. I will say it makes me more excited for Endgame.
The best part of the movie for me was Captain Marvel finding stuff out about herself. So the entire portion of the movie that goes through, that goes over the plot twist and goes over, finding herself, that to me was, my favorite portion of the movie. There's a really good train chase scene. I say really good in terms of, it was fast paced and I wasn't bored, and I was I was on the edge of my seat almost. So that and the whole first half I think was pretty enjoyable.
Aspects for me mostly, but to me that's about where it ends for the positive. So let's get into the negatives of this film. This was a very, very disappointing MCU film. I didn't really care. That was the biggest problem with the movie. Sometimes it really tried to be bigger than it was, and to some extent, like I said, in like a couple moments of emotion, I mean, I cared a little bit, but the script, just like you said, was very lackluster. And even the actors seemed to be kind of bored at times with the movie, especially, unfortunately, Brie Larson. Now, I wouldn't say that Brie Larson was bad. She was fine, like, in a couple parts, like I said. I did like her performance. But, yeah, other than that, everyone said this. She is pretty emotionless. Like, even when she's giving she could be cracking a joke, and she would say it without smiling, and you're just like, okay.
I mean, so the script tries to give her jokes, but she plays it so over the top to where, it's kind of mean-spirited, the way she says stuff. It's kind of condescending. She tries to be witty, and, everyone's super sarcastic. What I said to you was, it kind of seemed like they were using all the first takes of the lines. Like, they were kind of going, it was like a table read almost. And I know that sounds worse than it is, but when you watch the movie, you'll get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but, I mean, there were some aspects about her performance where I saw the potential for the Russo brothers, being the great directors they are, to make her a great character in Endgame. I can see Captain Marvel, I can see Brie Larson with the proper directors being a good character and being more likable. And the biggest problem I have is this movie really just seemed like a filler movie that was just kind of made quickly so that we would have some sort of an introduction to Captain Marvel, so it makes sense that she's in Endgame. And it really fell flat in some aspects. To me, Agent Coulson and Ronan were kind of useless in this movie. And even with Ronan, even though you understand what they're trying to do with his character and how it ties in, he didn't do anything. Like, he
literally stared out a window. He gave orders. Which I didn't honestly. I don't need him to be any more than that. He was there because he ties in to, when you find out what's really going on, then it all makes sense. You're like, oh, okay, I got you. And then when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, you know stuff that happened.
Yeah, but he's in the movie for such a small portion that it makes you really wonder why he's even there. They could just have mentioned his name or something, because he didn't do anything of importance in the film. And Agent Coulson, I guess he did have something to do, but it was the same kind of thing. It was like you didn't really need him in the movie, but it was still cool to see Agent Coulson again, even though he didn't do anything.
I mean, if you want to date the movie, I heard from another channel that like, she goes into the Blockbuster, right, and she picks up a video, and that video was from 1995. So if you want to date the movies from 1995, and I guess that's when this all started. That's when Agent Coulson joined S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything. That wasn't called S.H.I.E.L.D.
Ben Mendelsohn was fine. I mean, there was aspects about the movie having to do with him that I didn't like, but he was fine. I mean, he's doing great as an actor right now. I mean, Star Wars, Marvel, the Dark Knight trilogy, like what a Chad lad, bro.
Robin Hood, let's go.
Robin Hood. We're not saying that was good. We didn't even watch it, but like, we didn't care to. But he was okay.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as...
So Jude Law's character in the movie was kind of bland. He got very uninteresting to me as the movie progressed. To be honest, watching this movie, there was a lot of times where I was just kind of like, I get it, let's move on.
He doesn't, break the mold of, that kind of generic trainer guy who's like, I built you up from the top and I defined you and you have to prove yourself to me, and I'm like, he's the whatchamacallit? He's not like Jackie Chan in Kung Fu in freaking Karate Kid, but he's, what's the word? He's an inspiration, I guess. And I would say in terms of his acting, he wasn't completely emotionless. He was, especially at the end, he was getting crazy. He was like getting ready to like tussle and stuff, man. He was yelling and stuff. I mean, it was fine. He was functional. He was like Ben Mendelsohn in the movie. He was functional for what the script needed to happen.
Well, also the thing is with him was they showed him as being super powerful, and then as the movie progressed, by the end he got really like innocent and weak-like, and I didn't like that at all. But also
innocent and weak-like. Wait, can you explain that?
No, because it's spoilers.
Oh, all right.
I said I was going to mention this later in the review, so I'm going to do that now. Also, something with Nick Fury. No spoilers. But something with Nick Fury happens that is ridiculously stupid, and it changes your kind of viewpoint and the context of a lot of things earlier in the MCU, and it just kind of makes you laugh when you really think about it.
Yeah. It didn't make me laugh. It made me want to get up and leave.
Laugh because of how stupid it is.
Yeah.
Like when you watch stuff from earlier movies, then you like, it's funny because it's like, what the hell?
Because it's like, before it's like the entire there's a ambiguous story built around this one thing, and it's badass, and you're like, damn, like something bad must have happened, and then the writers were like, oh crap, we forgot to add this in. Okay, have this happen, people won't care that much. But it, like, completely disseminates most of what you liked about this one idea. It makes it goofy and stupid, and it really, it takes the line he says, like in Winter Soldier or something, out of context. Out of the good context that everyone liked.
Yeah, and there was also a couple unintentionally funny moments, and there was a point where I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing?
He said to me, he turned to me and he was like, what the hell's going on? I can't, like...
I mean, I knew what was going on, but it was kind of ridiculous.
We had some good reactions, because I think there's this one part that was so freaking hilarious that, maybe 15 minutes later in the movie, we'd remember at the exact same time and go... and just remember the scene. And then also, I think the best reaction was when that thing with Nick Fury happened, you were like, I heard you were like, no. And I was like, what? And then they addressed it on camera, and I was like,
Yeah, no, I was like,
Oh no, you gotta be kidding me.
I was
That's
like,
not
there's
true.
no way this is happening, and he didn't react, and I was like, wait, why doesn't he care? And then he realized what it actually was, and I was like,
Holy crap.
and then yeah.
I love you. You're like, no. I'm like, what? Oh man.
One thing I will say that was really impressive about this movie, and I mean, they've done it before with MCU films, but this movie in particular, I didn't know Samuel L. Jackson was gonna be like in the movie a lot. I thought he was just going to be maybe in a small portion of it, but he was in it throughout the entire movie, and the de-aging for him and other characters just, it was fantastic. He seemed like a younger Nick Fury, and like I said, he was basically the best part about this movie.
Yeah.
Him as Nick Fury, you really did see him as like a young Nick Fury who isn't as hardened yet. He hasn't experienced much yet.
He wasn't.
And he's more jokey, which is why he's more jokey in this movie.
Yeah.
And that works. I like that.
Yeah, the de-aging, like, I remember there's this, it's such a small little thing. He was in, like, a car, and you saw, like, the sun reflecting, you could see the little, like, not ripples, like, what's it called? The little texture on his skin. I'm like, that's his skin! That's his skin! Like, when you watch War for the Planet of the Apes, you're like, that's a monkey. Like, they just filmed a freaking monkey. Or ape, whatever, man. I mean, he looked maybe as young as, I would say, a little younger than he looked in Die Hard with a Vengeance or whatever, and, like, maybe around the same age as, what I say, Jackie Brown. Because, just to put that into perspective. Okay, so, the thing that, you mentioned to me is that you were like, I didn't, even though this movie came out, was it a day after International Women's Day?
No, it was, yesterday. We saw it on Friday, which was the first part of this review, but that was International Women's Day yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
okay, well, there wasn't, there's a difference between, women empowerment in movies, and there's a difference, and making jabs at dudes.
Yeah, no, yeah, right. Like I was saying, if you're looking for the women empowerment thing, that's not really in this movie until more towards like the climax and transitioning into the third act and near the end. There's like flashes of that, but it's more of just like that's clearly not something they're focusing on. Clearly, even though it was supposed to come on International Women's Day for a reason, it doesn't seem like there's really a lot of like women power.
Well, except the scene with the No Doubt song, which everyone knows what the No Doubt song is. That was the only scene where, they were driving that point in really hard. That they didn't really focus on it. And there wasn't, thank God, a lot of jabs at men, and how, they're lesser or something. Which, I didn't think that was going to happen, but I thought there would be shades of it, and I didn't really detect much. I can't remember much about that at all. So that's good. Good job with that.
And, I don't have a problem with, them putting that in. And it doesn't really matter to me. But if they're gonna release it on International Women's Day, they should really have more of... I don't know. Maybe they should. Maybe they shouldn't have. But there wasn't just much of the women empowerment thing that I found. But it didn't really matter too much to me because... I'm not a woman, but for women out there, it might. But
something that this movie does that a bunch of other movies do is they mess up. Okay, not mess up, but they keep consistently falling into a stereotype of having lazy aliens. I've never been satisfied in recent memory, except maybe Arrival, in the look and the feel of aliens in movies, from Kryptonians to Asgardians. And Thor and everything like that, they all just act like humans, they look like humans, they have human beliefs, and they're always more technologically advanced. They have spaceships, and they, on Asgard, they have, freaking swords that can cut through volcanoes. Like,
yeah.
They're just better versions of humans with, they're either more stoic or they're more, well put together in their political system or something.
Well, the thing is, they are humans. The debate that we were kind of having was it didn't make sense for Brie Larson to really act like a human when she's on Earth. Like in the first Thor movie, you could really distinguish Thor from everyone else because of the way he was acting, and he was like, what realm is this? And there's a bit of that in this movie, but it only happens for like 5 seconds, and then they never do anything with that again. She's just kind of automatically completely used to everything. And, you know, there's some parts, I'm not going to get into spoilers with who she really is.
There is a reason, but that's a big fat spoiler that we're not going to get
But
into.
I still think, even with the reason, because of something that occurs, it doesn't make sense. That she's kind of just a sarcastic, like, girl who, you know, seems to be not any different from a lot of people on Earth, so...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can agree with that. But you have to agree that, you know, the Kree are just, they're done lazily.
Yeah.
Because, you know, aliens, if you really think about it, they can be so astronomically different than humans that, like, it's not even few and far between. They might not even communicate in a way that, you know, we can even comprehend. But these are just aliens that are not aliens. And I've seen that so many times, and I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But overall, Captain Marvel was just kind of a filler movie to kind of quickly introduce her into the MCU, and I wasn't really that invested in it personally. It has a few good moments, and there is enjoyment, but in the end, I was quite disappointed. Captain Marvel is okay, and I'm going to give it a C.
Alright, okay, and I will say Captain Marvel, it's okay, same as him, but I'm gonna throw a plus on that C, just because I really did have fun with that first half. Like, I didn't think about it too much. I was enjoying myself. And then once the third act came on, I was like, okay, you know what? This can stop. you know, all the memes started to, like, surface. I'm like, ah! So yeah, C+.
It's not even just because memes. It's so it's so much of a filler movie to me that I don't know. You know, it's
well, you need to have it, but they made it seem like you didn't.
It seemed so much like a movie that was just made so Captain Marvel would have a reason to be in Endgame. So Captain Marvel would have a reason to have been sent that message by Nick Fury. And I think that this movie is it's probably my second least favorite MCU film, and I don't think I would ever really watch it again.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about it, and I was like, I like this less than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So, because you know what? I like all the MCU movies. There's not one that I don't like, even though everybody hates Iron Man 2 or they don't feel great about Incredible Hulk. I like all of them. I can't say I don't like any of them. This is the one where I'm like, it's truly just okay. So I think it falls under Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because I think that movie's great.
Yeah, the only MCU movie that I don't like and that I actually think is bad is Iron Man 2, and Thor: The Dark World is not actually my least favorite because I'm in the minority that actually really likes that movie. It's just like him. Yeah. And we're not going to argue with you on that. I know everyone hates that movie. We know. We've seen everything. But Iron Man 2 is just completely kind of ruins Tony Stark, so that's the only reason why I think that Iron Man 2 is my least favorite and Captain Marvel isn't less good than it. But Captain Marvel is my second least favorite, and you should just watch it just to see the mid-credit scene and how it ties into Endgame. That's literally the only reason I wanted to see it. The only reason I was excited for it. I didn't really care, and bottom line, this movie, more often than it didn't, fell flat.
Okay. And, well, I know one more thing, is this that I'm surprised at the lack of, time that Fury and Captain Marvel spent together. So when but when she makes an appearance at a certain point near the end, I'm just like, oh, so that's the only relationship you guys had. So I don't know if she earns her place, if she would earn her place as, the leader of the Avengers, even though she's probably the most powerful besides Bruce Banner and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just hope the Russos, being the great directors they are, can make her even better and, direct Brie Larson better.
Yeah, give her more. Give us a reason to care about her more.
And I have 100% faith in them because they have not let us down with any of the Marvel movies they've made.
Yeah.
And so I'm hyped for Endgame. Hopefully she's a great addition to the team. And if they do it anything like the first Avengers or the second Avengers where they, kind of have those really, really interesting conversations and stuff like that, then it's going to be great.
Yeah, the Russo.
So thank you guys so much for joining us in this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And as always, have a great day. Peace out.
Oh, okay, so Chance the Rapper did marketing for the Flamin' Hot Doritos. Don't eat those because they're 80K Scovilles, and him and I died yesterday eating them, but they taste pretty good.